The first episode of Kyoukai Senki really didn't do a whole lot besides establishing the setting and Shiba's basic introduction. Episode 2 expanded upon his characterization, depicting his kind-hearted nature as two farmers in the hills take him in after he hides his mech in the forest. He was caught stealing tomatoes by an old farmer who's probably related to Professor Oak. After explaining how he hasn't eaten anything in over a day, the farmer allows him to stay and eat as long as he helps with chores. I thought this was a welcome change of pace considering how much time was already spent depicting Shiba talking to his Pokemon. However, while the scene was intended to be wholesome, I couldn't avoid foreboding the eventual catastrophe that would occur when the military discovers this couple was housing what they would consider to be a terrorist, though they don't discover that in this episode. I just foresee that happening in the future, that he's gonna come back to that island and see that they've been wrecked or killed or something like that. I don't know. Luckily, Shiba manages to escape unnoticed in a small fishing boat belonging to Gary Oak's uncle. Somehow or another, his giant-ass mech fits on board even though it probably weighs as much as 2 tanks. Even more strange, his little red Pokemon can also drive the boat, proving what I said in the first episode correct about it being a magical MacGuffin that solves all of Shiba's problems. Hell, the thing even has social skills because it convinced the soldiers holding Shiba's friends hostage not to execute them and to let them go free. On top of that, it also performs complex maneuvers such as jumping off a small boat amid destruction and perfectly planned the correct attack procedure for taking down several mechs. The people who hate when teens randomly get a mech in episode 1 are gonna have a field day with this anime because not only is Shiba unskilled, but his little AI friend does all of the work for him. He even admits that modern mechs have no body inside and they're all controlled remotely. So far, it seems Shiba doesn't even need to exist in his own anime aside from taking the AI from the forest to the abandoned military base. I think the most interesting part happens at the end when Shiba's pinned down and taking direct heavy fire from multiple mechs and a sniper saves him in the distance who controls a similar model of mech to his. This is probably where he teams up with the other characters shown in the opening and becomes a resistance fighter with them. However, I won't see it because I just can't shake the feeling that this is an anime for 13-year-olds who've never seen any mech before. In that context of being for 13-year-olds who've never seen a mech anime before, I think this would be a fantastic series for them because it's got beautiful animation and the mechs look so clean and they're traditionally animated. The background art is so beautiful, plus I think the main character, Shiba, is likable because he's got a troubled backstory that can really make you feel for him, and he's a down-to-earth, kind guy, as we see with his interaction with him and the farmer and his wife, but I just don't feel like the series is for me. For this anime to become something I'd enjoy, the AI would have to be taken away, not just for its aesthetic purposes, but because it's too big of a crutch that will make plot transitions too convenient. I'd be happy even if their powers were limited. Maybe their battery life becomes an issue and they can only charge it once every few episodes. That would be okay, I guess. Having said that, I think the anime is just not for me and I can use my time more wisely on my main channel, and I also get the feeling that the anime won't be that great of an experience once it's complete either. However, if you're looking for a better mech anime that I think is suitable for the 13 to 15 new mech fan age range, I would recommend Gundam Age. Check that one out. I should also point out that this is directed by Nobuyushi Habara, who also directed Breakblade, so if you like the overall style of this anime and want something similar that's a bit more mature, I'd recommend checking that one out. While I won't be covering this show anymore, I'd love to hear if I'm wrong about it. Feel free to come back and let me know how this anime turned out when it's finished. Thanks for watching. I should also let you know I dropped a few other series as well. I decided to make a video about this one because I actually had a lot to say about this, but I dropped Tesla Note, and I also dropped Meruko-chan, and I didn't really have a whole lot to say about those, so I didn't feel like making videos. However, I will be discussing in greater detail why I decided to drop those anime in my fall 2021 first impression video, where I rank all of the anime that I've seen from the season. So stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you next time.